You live.
Hey everyone, welcome to Slow News Day Live. My name is Steve Poikinen. I'm chilling in front of one of the most haunted hotels in California. I'm joined as more often than not by my better than your co-host Glory Jones. Hi, Glory.
Hi, Steve.
This is the first live stream with my new camera set up, so hopefully it looks okay. I can't really tell from here. We don't normally do a show on Tuesday, but there's some stuff that we wanted to talk about. We do have a free Assange vigil tonight. I definitely need to promote the GoFundMe for that. And let you guys know what's going on with the events in case we haven't beat this particular dead horse to death enough. I really hope you guys got to watch last night's Union of the Unwanted. I really do, man, and I can't say this enough. It just fucking much love to Charlie and Ricky and Sam for putting that whole thing together, and then for bringing me on board and making me a part of it. Last night we had Massimo Mazzucco, who is a documentary filmmaker, absolute legend in the game in terms of like breaking down the false flag narratives and exposing exactly what in fact took place. We're going to do a family watch along on the Slow News Day Discord soon, I think, to one of his documentaries. We're also the entire Slow News Day crew, live and in person, along with the Convo Couch, a handful of other people. We'll probably end up watching UFOs in the Military Elite, one of his documentaries, the Friday night, Saturday night, or something like that.
We could do a fan viewing of Godzilla versus Kong.
It's true. It's true. We could.
Yeah. Watch Godzilla win. You know, coming off some dubs, guys. For me personally, just because, I don't mean to state the obvious news from yesterday, but Baylor fucking choked out Gonzaga the whole fucking game from get-go. They had them locked down, and it was amazing to see. So that's your little that's all I'll get into today, because yeah. Sorry.
You've been Glory on the ground the last night or so. You've been running around LA. You want to let folks know what you were legally up to and what you were allegedly up to?
So pretty much yesterday was the 11-year anniversary of the release of the Collateral murder video, which displayed, to put it simply, war crimes. Basically an Apache helicopter going through the suburbs in Baghdad and gunning down innocent Iraqis, including children, and 2 Reuters journalists. So in honor of the release of that, I decided, hey, my school is close to LAX. You know what else is close to LAX? A Boeing building and a Raytheon building. So I went there. I had a little Bluetooth speaker with me, and I played the audio for the full audio, 38-minute audio for Collateral murder, while putting up some flyers for WikiLeaks and for the protests we have this Sunday. So, and for the second half of that, I did it with allegedly a Guy Fawkes mask. I'll get a picture. I'll get a picture for you guys.
Just want to remind you guys that it's really good to get outside, spend some time outdoors, get a little exercise, and also to hang flyers and scrawl, slogans.
So there's one hanging outside a Boeing. Let me get the other one. Another one where I'm hanging outside Raytheon. And yeah, that's how I spent my Monday evening, celebrating the 11-year anniversary of the release of just a tiny little smidget of the war crimes committed by the U.S. in Iraq.
Actually, I had someone try to argue with me today that no crimes were actually committed in that video. I'm like, okay, kiddo, okay. The same dude that tried to use a PolitiFact article that agreed with Julian Assange as a way to debunk that any crimes were committed in that video. They're like, send in the junior varsity ahead of this one? Like the regular trolls, you need a vacation, kids are on spring break, something like that.
At that point, I'm just asking, Ayo, you want your boots medium rare or well?
Right. Fucking, you know that dude doesn't even season the boot.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Straight leather.
For sure.
And put a little sauce on it. Nothing. Man, nothing. Just give me that boot. Good Lord. Fucking idiots.
Yeah. Nothing will ever top the time that I got a literal former CIA spy in my mentions.
That's good stuff. Burmis has pointed out a couple actual known FBI agent YouTube accounts in our chat and his chat, shit like that. Good times.
Nice. Fuck you guys.
Burmis played a clip. What's his name? Michael Snomish, something like that. Basically giving the no shirt, no shoes, no service argument for the QR code, and had on the president, or not president, I think one of the, like COO or whoever of IBM, one of their executives, Snomish did, to explain why you're technically not giving your private medical information to just anyone when you use the Vaxport to get into Madison Square Garden. And they're like, it's just a QR code. It's just a QR code. Okay, well, what's the QR code of? It's just a QR code. Okay, but what? Well, okay, well, maybe it does contain your personal medical history. That's the only thing on it, and that's the only reason for its existence. And anyway, if you would like things to return to normal, just download this app and go get your experimental drug, and then if you do these things, then we'll let you in this place. So you still have to wear your mask. You still have to social distance. You actually, nothing about what you were doing changes. It's just now we have a permanent way to track you, or another permanent way to track you, directly tied to what happens in your body, because we're putting things that we can program into it. So that's normal. Do we want to just transition right into the AstraZeneca thing, and then we'll do the wastewater after that, since we kind of walked this way? Really though, go watch that Union of the Unwanted. It was killer.
I don't know.
Did you watch The Union of the Unwanted last night, Gloria Jones?
I was only able to catch part of it. The other part of it, because basically I was like in class for the part of it that I was watching, and then I wanted to, and then I had to like get out because I still had to print the flyers, so I had to go out and do that. So yeah. So I didn't catch all of it, but for a good reason.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not like, grilling you or anything. I'm fucking curious, man. It was good shit, though. We're going to try to get Massimo on the show here, too. We are.
Could you say it a bit more Italian?
No. Well, I'll leave that to pasta. I will. It almost seems like corny or insulting if I do it,
I know. I just feel like it's such a like you hear it and you're like, ah, man, it's such an awesome Italian name.
Okay, then you say it.
No.
Massimo. Come on, Jones.
Massimo.
Okay. How is that any different than the way that
I don't know.
Somebody dose you, Glory?
Hey.
I'm fucking with you.
No one giving me no free drugs. What the fuck?
Well, that's because I haven't picked you up yet, and they're technically not free because you've done a lot for the show.
Guys, I'm gonna get to meet Sleepy Josh this Friday. Hey, and Ali Alexandra. Let's go. What's up? I'm gonna get to meet my dogs.
All right. So
and I'll see Steve again.
Yeah. Oxford University today has paused trials of its coronavirus vaccine in children, while regulators probe the jab's link to rare blood clots. A spokesman for the prestigious university said the move was precautionary and that there were no health issues among any of the youngsters involved in the trial. Oxford began studying the vaccine in 5 to 17-year-olds in February with the aim of eventually scaling up the trial and testing it in 200 people. But scientists have stopped recruiting new volunteers, and it's not clear how many children have already been given a dose. Oxford is waiting for more information from the UK's regulator, the Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency, before restarting the study. It comes as the MHRA prepares to give a decision about whether the jab is suitable and safe for people under 30 after dozens of vaccinated people have developed a deadly brain clot. Meanwhile, one of European drug regulators' senior officials today claimed there is now a clear link between the jab and CBST, a brain blockage that can lead to a stroke. Marco Cavalieri, head of vaccines at the European Medicines Agency, said that CBST, a brain blockage that again can lead to a stroke, was occurring more often than expected in younger people.
Oh, fucking lovely.
Wow, look at that. A little piece of propaganda there.
Oh. COVID death is more likely than a brain blood clot. There is no evidence blood clots are caused by the vaccine. Shut up.
And look at the way that the graph is laid out too, because they make it seem like the COVID deaths are huge. What's that number right there?
0.04%. Bro.
Yeah. So there's a 3% difference there. And I don't even know what this middle one is.
0.03.
death.
0.03.
They've got 15 to 24 and 24 to 44. Well, yeah, dude, if you take people 25 to 44, but your study is for people under 30, then they're just Jesus Christ.
Yeah, the demographic we're supposed to be focusing on is the youngest.
And it really looks like it's about, you know, you're half as likely to die from the vaccine as you are from COVID, which, okay, like, isn't a lot of people, right? But why then are you unnecessarily poisoning all of these fucking people?
I know. Like, why would, it's the same reason, like, why would I get the vaccine for like the flu? Or like, I'm not getting vaccines for the common cold, because that's literally what it was like for me when I got COVID. Like, you know, I'm 20, I'm the demographic they're talking about, almost, like just a slightly older maybe, but like we have these magical things, these really strong things called immune systems that work out really well when we're fighting sicknesses like the flu, like the common cold, like COVID.
Well, that's why they wanted you to fucking coat yourself in sanitizer and fucking get antibacterial everything so that you would destroy your immune system.
Yeah.
So when you got, you know, so that when a younger person went out and got into contact with people, they had a higher chance of contracting something that isn't even,
well, yeah,
like,
you're
it doesn't present. Like, kids are like the one demographic of this, little kids. You know, not like infants, but that 5 to 17 group, or even 5 to 24.
Like, you're
that's
taking
the one group that doesn't.
Like with the social distancing, with the quarantine, and like, if for more of this, I suggest watching our episode with Corey Morningstar, because it's fucking awesome, and also because we go into this more. Like, with all this social distancing and quarantining and like hand sanitize and like sanitizing everything, you're taking a spiked baseball bat to natural immunity that we have. So now, because our immune systems are fucking shot because of all these measures, these unnecessary measures you're taking, now all of a sudden, when we do get stuff like the common cold and the flu, it's doing more.
100%. And again, I can't stress this enough. The age group 5 to 17 or even 5 to 24, that age group is the one group that the whole time from day one, even Fauci and those fucking lying, thieving scumfucks had to admit, like, yeah, no, it's not really prevalent. It doesn't, it's not a thing. And then they kind of like, it walked it back. And of course, like, one kid somewhere had like 800 other things wrong with them and got coronavirus. So of course they said, oh, well, it was the coronavirus that killed him. That's why he died, not the fucking 35 other comorbidities. That had nothing to do with it. So now all children are susceptible to death from COVID because one kid with 1.5 billion comorbidities died from COVID. And so that's when you like, do you remember for a while, like, little kids didn't have to wear masks, and then all of a sudden everybody did?
Yeah.
Like, you just threw a fucking family off a plane because their 2-year-old was taking their mask off to eat. 2 years old.
Yeah.
And like, they're the whole family's wearing masks. The kid is wearing a mask.
And I mean, I have to travel with the team too. So like, I've seen the discrepancy between people that will come up like straight up putting like fucking plastic shields over their child stroller, which is just fucking dumb. And also, like, you know, I'll see like little babies that don't have masks or anything on, and they're just like looking out the window, having the time of their lives, and I'm just like, oh, that's so sweet. Like, we all need to be like that. And yeah.
So I guess what I would like for people to take away from this, though, is like, why isn't anyone asking UK health ministers, or that I've seen at least, like, why the fuck are we shooting experimental drugs into children when they're not even in the risk pool for coronavirus?
Same reason we're trying to give the AstraZeneca vaccine en masse to countries of the global south that handled coronavirus incredibly well in comparison to the West.
Okay. I'll buy that. I will. What the hell? There we go. Before we get going into the wastewater thing, I do want to let people know that we do have a GoFundMe up for these events coming up. In our case, on April 10th and 11th, and we'll talk about that in a second. But we have like 10 or 12 now. 10 or 12 events in the States, and then approaching 30 internationally, and that is fucking fantastic. It really is. Drop the GoFundMe links in the chat here real quick. Maybe I will remember to add them to the show notes after the fact. Maybe. I don't know. 52 people watching over on the YouTube, 33 likes. Why don't you go ahead and drop the like and then come over and watch us on the Rockfin. Rockfin is where we're going to be posting all of our content anyway. When YouTube arbitrarily yanks the channel, the account is free to make. It just requires you signing up with an email address. Most of our content really comes out for all of the content is free when we live stream. We've been keeping a lot of it up for free after the fact too. All of the free Assange vigils, all of Anonymous Bites Back. That's always
I have to. I can't help it.
And if you like what we do, $9.99 a month. It gets you all of the premium content and everybody else's premium content. I have my Sequoia.
Wait, yeah, I was about to say you.
They're fucking. If I don't have them like right over here, then this place is so fucking tiny they'll get stomped on. They will. At any rate, support the fucking show on Rockfin, eh?
Why'd you pick them up then?
A guy can dream, right?
You don't need to dream to wear glasses. You can just do it.
I could also just break them too. I have a feeling they'd be like, okay, well, we're going to get you more glasses. We're doing the bit, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we didn't get to do it in DC.
Don't say it.
Because it didn't just work out. There were unforeseen things, and we couldn't do the bit. But we're going to one more time resurrect the Sequoia More White character when we're in LA, which is great because we can actually go to Echo Park if we want to.
I mean, it'll be depressingly empty. And I don't know if the fences are still up.
That'd be great. Do the thing in front of a fence or the fucking like a little coffee shop across from it.
Nah. That whole situation there is just depressing. It is. And I don't want to go back because I might, because assuming the police presence is still there, I might not be able to be as polite as I was with them last time. Because
you can't get arrested until after we're done with the events.
Okay.
So let me tell you what's going on Saturday. So Saturday we're hosting a press panel. We're inviting local media and organizers. We may end up opening it to everybody. I don't know. We'll see. And we're gonna talk broadly about why the Assange case is important for media and organizers, and then specifically, Fee and Pasta are going to have a panel just to address censorship. On Sunday, where are you? There you are. While I'm
On
queuing this up,
Sunday.
thank you.
Oh,
Yes, on Sunday.
on Sunday, we are meeting outside of CBS Columbia Square in Hollywood, where we will be marching up to Hollywood Boulevard, going through the Walk of Fame, and then coming back down and ending, where you ask, at the CNN building in Hollywood for a We Are All Assange protest, fuck censorship event, because April 11th is the 2-year anniversary. 2 years. 2 years to 730 days of Julian Assange being in Hellmarsh, being illegally dragged from the Ecuadorian embassy to Belmarsh prison, where he currently is for no reason. Well, no legal reason, but we know the reason.
So, it'll be great. It'll be great to once again address the U.S. media about this. We're going to start at CBS Columbia Square, go up a block, march down Hollywood Boulevard, and the Walk of Fame, and we'll land at CNN on Sunset and Cahuenga. Fuck censorship will be with us. There will be a couple other anti-war groups that are going to join us for this. And really, look, guys, if you're anywhere near Los Angeles this weekend, get your asses down there and see us.
Yes, come through, please. Like, there are specific people that we're inviting, but like, we can't do that to everybody. So if you're watching this and you're anywhere near Los Angeles, if you're in fucking San Diego or Orange County, come through. Just come, please.
Really trying to see if we've got an updated list here with the candles, but let's see what we got going on for this weekend. 30 events in 25 cities across 10 countries. So she's got LA, New York, DC, and Denver, but there is also Seattle, Tampa, Tulsa,
Raleigh,
North Carolina, Chicago. I want to, like, the Boston one counts. And then Minnesota maybe. But yeah, and then there are a number of events in London. There's another one that can't be advertised yet because they can't disclose the location. Wellington and Auckland, Mexico City, Toronto, Frankfurt. There's a number of other events going on in Germany, and then Brazil, South Korea, whatever the hell.
Is that Australia,
and Venezuela.
Ooh, okay. All right.
Yeah. I'm still fucking kids, dude. Why are they shooting this shit into children? Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know, dude. I mean, I get it and I understand. And fucking when, like, the World Economic Forum comes out and says the vaccine will be the foundation for the fourth industrial revolution, maybe people should have gone, could you explain that, Klaus?
I mean, he did, though, in his book called COVID-19 and the Great Reset.
Which is not a conspiracy theory if you're the author or you're invited to the World Economic Forum. You
can find it fucking online in PDF form.
Yeah.
In 20 seconds.
Yeah. So it's not a conspiracy theory if you're promoting it. It's only a conspiracy theory if you analyze it and discuss it.
Yeah.
Funny that. Did you have something queued up for the wastewater spill?
Yes, I did.
Okay, do you want to pull that? We'll just go into that one.
I was going to anyway. Yeah, so actually,
It's like pretending I'm in charge of something. I don't know, I'm kidding.
Really?
Glory, roll 212.
Okay. Shout out Quinn probably is in the chat for first bringing this story to my attention, because it's kind of part of a big trend in Florida's overall environment that I'm going to go into more in a bit here. But basically, there's a big wastewater leak happening in West Florida right now, which is the side that sits on the Gulf of Mexico. 20-foot wall of water could be unleashed if Florida phosphate pond collapses, officials warn. At a news conference this Sunday morning, hopes that up to a 20-foot wall of water could form in less than an hour based on models. If the pond breached, this refers to a pond full of wastewater and runoff that sits on top of a mound of rock, literally. The pond was once used to store waste from a plant at that site that turned phosphate into fertilizer. Officials in Manatee County on Florida's Gulf Coast ordered residents of more than 300 homes near the site to evacuate immediately Saturday. What we're looking at now is trying to prevent a catastrophic flood issue, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said at the Sunday morning briefing. DeSantis said that the water is not radioactive, even though the gypsum stack that the pond sits on is mildly radioactive.
Mildly.
Only mildly radioactive. It says a lot when the best news that you can give is, hey, at least the water itself isn't radioactive. But and for those that don't know, the gypsum stacks are basically leftover rock that happens when they're in the process of converting phosphorus into fertilizer. It leaves a lot of waste, and one of those things is these kind of radioactive rocks that eventually form stacks, and then ponds, and because of runoff and wastewater, ponds form at the top of these kind of hills of this rock. So that's what that is. The governor said the water is mostly salt water from a dredging project years ago and the processed water from the old fertilizer plant. That processed water is high in phosphorus and nitrogen, nutrients that can cause algae blooms in rivers and bays. Much of the water has already been drained into Port Manatee, which sits at the mouth of Tampa Bay. DeSantis said pumps are sending 33 million gallons a day from the pond to the bay. He also said the Florida National Guard is flying more pumps to the top of the gypsum berm around the pond to pump more water. DeSantis and Noah Valentine, the Secretary of Florida's Department of Environmental Protection, said flooding is the biggest danger to the public now. Valentine is the primary focus. Valentine said the primary focus is on directing a controlled discharge to an area where it will have the least impact. At a county news conference at 2 p.m. Sunday, Vanessa Bach, chairman of the Manatee County Commission, said steady draw down the process of water has continued at Piney Point, and we have thankfully avoided uncontrolled breach that will have endangered people and property in the evacuation zone around the stacks. Bach also said that drinking water in Manatee County and the town of Palmetto remain unaffected by the breach at the pond. She said the county utility system has a closed system and water from the pond could not enter. She also said the county's main source of drinking water, Lake Manatee, was not affected. She added that the private wells near Piney Point also should remain safe. Hopes, the county administrator, said at the afternoon news conference that the additional pump should double the amount of water that can be pumped into the pond. He said if the work continues as it's going now, the danger might be over Tuesday. On Saturday, Hope said attempts to plug the breach overnight with dirt and stone failed. Evacuate area now, collapse of Piney Point stack imminent, read the alert from county officials about 11 a.m. on Saturday. There has been further motion with the wall, Manatee County Public Safety Director told the Bradenton Herald, which is an area around Tampa. We've ordered further evacuations and closed US 41. Hopes that officials think the water would flow to the north of the pond across low-lying areas and down into Tampa Bay. The collapse could also threaten other retention ponds on the site. And then that's just a picture of the reservoir around Piney Point. That mound is kind of where those ponds sit atop of. And then Desantis declared a state of emergency for Manatee County around 1:45 p.m. this Saturday. Officials first discovered a tear Thursday in the reservoir, which contained about 800 million gallons of water and waste products from the manufacture of fertilizer from phosphate. According to the Bradenton Herald, the pond breached about 4 p.m. on Friday, leaking water that contains phosphorus and nitrogen. Residents within half a mile of the reservoir, which is owned by HRK Holdings, were warned to evacuate. Saturday evening, officials added another 316 homes and several more businesses to the evacuation area, according to WTVT. What has been occurring in the past 12 hours is there are a number of small breaches in addition to what we believe is a significant leak at the bottom of the retention pond. Officials tried to reduce the risk of a collapse by draining the wastewater. Desantis said Sunday those pumps were pumping 23.5 gallons a minute into nearby Tampa Bay. Hope said additional pumps were pumping about 1.5 gallons a minute into the bay. The pond sits in a large mound that is known as a gypsum stack that is made of phosphogypsum, a byproduct of the fertilizer made at the plant from 1966 until 2001. Because this plant is fucking old. It has been around for decades. Most of the naturally occurring radioactive uranium, thorium, and radium in the phosphate rock ends up in the phosphogypsum. According to the EPA, the uranium and thorium decay to radium and radium decays to radon, a radioactive gas. The wastewater inside the pond at the top of the stack is a mixture of seawater from an old dredging project, rainwater, and the leftovers from fertilizer manufacturing that can carry phosphorus and nitrogen, according to the Tampa Bay Times. Hope said Saturday afternoon that snook live in the pond that is in danger of collapsing, and he has seen ducks swimming on top of it. 2 other ponds in the site have higher levels of the byproducts, he said. The risk factor is the potential release of nearly 1 billion gallons of water. Wastewater from previous leaks at other gypsum stacks has called fish kills and algae blooms. Facts. Phosphorus and nitrogen are nutrients that feed algae blooms and red tide. Matthew Pasek, a geoscience professor at USF, told Axios that releasing the water would affect Tampa Bay. Algae blooms followed by fish kills are the most likely thing. That's because that's what they're aiming for at this point, Pasek said. It's going to impact the food chain further down the line too. It's unlikely to cause human damage, but there's going to be a pretty stinky bay for a while. I mean, it's not going to, not cause much human damage, because the way the food chain works is when shellfish and when small fish ingest the toxins that come from these harmful algae blooms, that toxin accumulates in their body. So then when you eat that same shellfish, when you eat that same fish, you're at danger of getting sick. On top of the fact that having to swim through red tides and algae bloom isn't good for tourism, and it isn't good for people wanting to come in. So it's not good for the economy. So there's the business cost in that, which is why Ron DeSantis actually pretends to care about it more than most people, is because red tides and algae blooms are not good for for tourism in Florida, which is a key part of our economy. And what this problem underscores is just a larger trend of phosphate mining in Florida, because it's literally been happening all over the state, specifically in areas like Tampa, like Jacksonville, like other places around Lake Okeechobee as well, because phosphorus, the land in Florida is rich in phosphorus. So it's particularly good to take the phosphorus that's in the environment and mine it and then use it for fertilizers. But the problem is it produces so much runoff that you get these giant wastewater ponds like the ones at Piney Point that has been around for decades now. And we're at a risk now of not only having that leak, but there's been historical leaks all over Florida of these type of things, and they've been damaged by stuff like hurricanes. Like if there's hurricanes or large rainfall, then they're at immense risk of breaking and flooding and contaminating the local water supply, on top of the fact that they've already been contaminating the ocean around Florida. Like we have had a red tide. Just last August, we had August 2020, we had a massive fish kill in Biscayne Bay because the levels of dissolved oxygen in the water were getting fucked with. So fish were literally suffocating to death. And then because of the lack of oxygen, their bodies were producing sulfur compounds instead. That's how you get the stink from the fish kill. And then it's disgusting to think that that just kept getting ignored in favor of big agriculture and industrial farming, because yes, I get it. It's a livelihood for some people, but at the same time, we've had so many problems in these past years because the specific compounds and nutrients they mentioned, phosphorus and nitrogen, when that runoff gets into the water, it helps create this process called eutrophication, which is basically a mass influx of nutrients, and then which then leads to a mass influx of algae blooms, of phytoplankton, of toxic dinoflagellates, and of all kinds of toxic plankton that you can find in red times. And that shit will also fuck with dissolved oxygen levels and then lead to these massive fish kills, to the red coloring that you see in the water, to the algae literally blocking out the sunlight. There have been algae blooms in Lake Okeechobee that have literally covered about 95% of the surface there. And it's been something that's getting slid under the rug in Florida for the past decades now. And it only gets worse and worse with time.
So here's something that that Burmis brought up last night on Union of the Unwanted, and I would like to hear your opinion, because you're obviously not like a full-time resident of Florida currently because you go to school in California, but I imagine that from time to time you still talk to people in Florida, and I don't know how many of them see things the way you do. So this is gonna this is where I need like your help here with the theory that Burmis put forward, and that is because Ron DeSantis has been so vehemently opposed to lockdowns, to mandates, to now outright, banning the vax ports.
Yeah.
That we're going to see Florida just get fucked with, like in all kinds of ways. And if I swear to God, like if they were to have been hosting the All-Star game, they would have got the exact same treatment that Atlanta did. DeSantis would have 100%. If there's a major event scheduled or planned in Florida, a sporting event, look for pressure to be put on like NFL team owners and Major League Baseball owners and shit like that to be like, no, if you don't have the health passport at your stadiums, we're not going to play games there. Like, look for that shit, dude, because...
Well, I mean, the last Super Bowl was in Miami, but that was before everything.
Yeah. And wasn't that supposed to be a fucking super spreader event? Weren't like tens of thousands of people supposed to get sick and die from that?
Yeah.
How many super spreader events have you been at in the last year? I've been to like 3, at least.
Depends, honestly, because like if you're defining it by like what people actually call the super spreader event versus like what would be considered a super spreader event based on the numbers, then I've been to fucking a lot.
Well, yeah. No, but remember, if a protest was sponsored by the Democratic Party, it was not a super spreader event.
Yeah, even then, I
none of those count.
Yeah, and even even leaving out all the Democratic Party sponsored events, I'd still been to a lot.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I don't know what they actually count as a super spreader event, but I mean, I don't like the ones that they said on TV, we're going to get everybody sick. I've been to 3 of those. And fucking, I mean, I'm not like unhealthy, but I'm not overly healthy. You know, I'm not like in poor health.
You're unhealthy for reasons not related to COVID. Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I'm saying that like I'm susceptible to getting sick. You know, I mean, I do work outdoors most of the time. I fucking, you know, in relatively decent shape, but I don't like, I eat like crap, sleep like crap. You know, there's definitely reasons for me to have a lowered immune system. I had just been traveling that particular week at when the Capitol thing happened. Like that was like absolutely no sleep. And fucking I mean the whole week was just fucking hectic, man.
Yeah.
Heavy. It was.
Wait, so what was the point you were going to make out of all this?
Like it well,
seeing, I mean, like, do we expect Florida to get
super spreader events you'd been at? Just kind of like curious, but to bring it back to the Desantis thing. I mean, what do you think about it? Because this particular facility, like, could have been shut down at any point over the last 30 years. And I don't know if, you know, there was a tear in the wall or something like that. Like the wall itself got breached. Was it damaged? Does, you know, I mean, like, what? Oh, some weird shit there. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how these things happen. I don't. No idea.
Yeah, well, I mean, this was the first time that they actually discovered, like, okay, well, in this specific pond with this specific stack, this was the first time that they've discovered like actual leaks. But I mean, there've actually been like spills before, which have happened due to just heavy rainfall or hurricanes. And hurricanes in the past have damaged other gypsum stacks around Florida, which leads to, you know, more leaks and stuff. But I mean, in this particular facility, like it's been passed by it's gone through at least like 3 companies now. Some of them have filed for bankruptcy in the process. And at one point it was just straight up had to be owned and monitored by the EPA. And I mean, DeSantis is honestly interesting to me because he appears to care and attempt to take more measures to help improve the overall freshwater and saltwater quality in and around Florida. Like, he's just like putting aside like his trash ass fucking protest bill. Like, he's actually, that's one of the first things that he did when he got into office, was because around that time we were again getting getting pegged by another red tide. But around the time he took office, he actually made it a point of his to try and help reduce the amount of algae blooms and red tides and improve water quality in Florida, because it's tourism. Like, tourists aren't going to want to be swimming in red water, because like if you've seen red tides before, it's like, it's literally red water. Like,
dude, there was like a big ass fish kill like in a red tide that Tim Canova went down and like filmed and live streamed in front of, and fucking I called, like, got all of them afterwards and was like, you tell me some more of just in general about this shit, because I don't really know anything about it. And he kind of, you know, broke it down like a layperson at any rate would. But I mean,
fish kills are even worse for tourism, because not only are you having a bunch of dead fish randomly wash up on the store, but like, because of the fact that like their bodies are literally producing like sulfur compounds, which makes them reek. So like, that's awful for tourism, and it often stems from algal blooms, which fuck with the levels of dissolved oxygen in the water, and red tides, which can also contain toxic phytoplankton themselves. So because of that, like, you get blue-green algae covering mass surfaces, you get reddish-brownish water, you get fucking smelly-ass dead fish washing up, and it's awful for tourism. And tourists don't want to fuck with that. So because of that, because a lot of our economy and business depends on that tourism, then if you're the leader of the state, then you better fucking take care of the water. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of the point I wanted to make about Ron DeSantis. I mean, I think they're going to fuck with him anyways, just because of the COVID stuff. Not even, yeah.
Yeah, and there's some people wondering where Whitney's been in the chat. She was just on with Ryan this morning, but she moved out of country. There's been a lot going on. She hasn't really like been able to or had the bandwidth for giving interviews. She did Tim Dillon's show the other day.
She was on with Ryan this morning.
Yeah, and she'll be not this week, but next week she'll be on.
Yay!
I talked to her this morning. Yeah, her favorite show. Y'all know
Whitney,
that, right?
We're Whitney. In case if y'all didn't know this, we're Whitney Webb's favorite show. Listen, I don't know how many shows you watch where they got Vanessa Billy to flick off the camera. That's all I'm saying.
We get the best independent journalists in the world coming on this show because they know that, like, we showed up not having to catch up to where they're at. They can talk about whatever the fuck they want to.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and here for that.
Yeah.
And we can hang in those conversations too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and
work.
And in the rare cases when we do have to catch up, like when we had Dean O'Brien on or something like that, it's like we're asking good questions and we're not just just vegetables. I don't know.
Yeah, no, Eva actually wrote me to say that was a really good interview that we gave. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. I love Eva Bartlett.
But like that's just that's how it is, and it's fucking weird. Don't get me wrong, man. Like, I'm as mystified by this as I'm sure, you know, casual viewers of the show are too. But I mean, you want to see what we've got going on. You want to, because fucking seriously, like the best fucking journalists on the planet come here to like kick it, you know, stretch out. 2.5 hour interview with Corey Morningstar. The fucking like 3-4 hours with fucking Vedmore, like hours and hours and hours and hours and hours.
Jared Beck.
With Woody. Yeah, dude. Jared Beck comes here to fucking talk shit for like days, yo. Like it's we really like it's a magical
Was it our moon landing episode where Jared was just getting so fired up that he was like distorting his mic
yeah,
and
dude, that was rough on my ears.
Yeah. Yeah,
it was rough on all of our ears, but it was actually, I'm not gonna lie, it was fucking hilarious.
I mean, this is where you want to be. It is. Having said that, we should get the fuck out of here. Because the Free Assange Vigil is in an hour and a half. I got some shit to do before that. And are we doing an ABB tonight?
Why are you asking me?
I don't know. I didn't know if you knew. Because you said that that Lubers still wanted to do a show about the Facebook hack, and I didn't know if that was in reference to tonight. So there is a method to the madness.
Yeah, but you also know the madness, so you should also know that I don't know the answer either.
Okay. Fair. Fair.
If there's ABB tonight, we'll let y'all know.
And Josh, you need to get, or Lubers needs to give you stream keys to that other YouTube channel, because I would like to put the vigil out on it tonight. So I'll coordinate that if I have to.
All right.
Yeah. Ooh, and I can bug Nico about the stream key to MCSE's main page on Rockfin.
Yes.
Oh yeah. And once we can do once we can get better at timestamps and clipping shit, we can upload shit to the MCSC network channel because we are part of the fam, y'all.
Thanks for hanging out for our production meeting, everyone. We appreciate it. Glory Jones, what do you got? What do you got?
We always have production meetings on air, so yeah, we're the picture of professionalism here, people. But yeah, everyone just keep tabs on your local environment, because a lot of these co-opted fuckwatic organizations aren't going to, and they're only going to focus on very trivial stuff. On that note, also wanted to bring up our good friends and MCSC fam, Robbie Yeager and Misty Winston and Jesse Zerwell. They're trying to do a tweet storm sometime later this week to raise awareness on the Colonial Pipeline spill in North Carolina, which is literally getting like zero attention outside of like the coverage that MCSC is giving it, and like, because like Robbie's the one driving the story, and the only people giving Robbie's story coverage and boosting that are people within MCSC network and a couple others as well. I think the Vanguard had him on. But yeah, very few people are actually paying attention to that story. So stay tuned to that and just help boost that story. And as well, just raising the alarm on any environmental mishaps happening in your area, because chances are they are a part of a larger trend of fuckery. So yeah, if you guys could spread a word of the wastewater leak in Florida, then I'd appreciate that, because it reflects a larger trend of phosphate mining in Florida, which has had almost nothing but adverse effects on our coastlines and oceans and lakes and rivers. So yeah, would appreciate that. Why are you pointing at me?
Are you doing any media ahead of these events this week? And if not, let's change that.
What do you define as media?
Are you giving any interviews or doing any like promotion on anybody else's channel about the events this week like you have done in the past?
I mean, I'll be going on the ground to do that shit specifically Wednesday and Thursday, but in terms of online, aside from Ali Mason and the interview I did with Team Assange in London, nah.
Hey, people who are mods
Oh my
for
God.
other people, and you know who I'm talking about, let's get Glory on a show or two this week. We need to get people out in the fucking streets.
Why me?
I'm doing it too. It's not like it's just you, dude. It's not. Don't worry. I'm like never going to ask you to do something that I'm not already doing or wouldn't do.
Okay, well, only because I think I know which channel you're referring to.
But any of them, all of them, all of the channels.
Oh, okay.
We want all of the promotion because we want all of the people in the streets.
Okay, yeah. And because there's so many LA independent media people in LA, there is no way that I'm going to be able to keep track of all of them. And there's no way that Steve and Convo Couch are going to be able to keep track of all of them. So if you can think of any content creator or independent media personality in LA, if you could reach out to them about this event, then please do that and just try to spread the word. I know I'm asking y'all to spread the
I tried as a joke and he had my email address blocked.
Yeah, I know. Listen, I know I'm asking y'all to spread the word on a lot of shit, but I appreciate it because I love y'all. Y'all the best chat ever. And big up Steve, forever legitimate interim president, we'll always remember, and Base God Tech Ninja, Sleepy J, yeah.
So
and that's my outro. That was fucking long and rambling, so sorry for that, but yeah.
April 10th press panel. Yes, please go ahead and harass LA-based content creators about it. Not harass, just tell them that it's in their best interest to attend. And the same with organizers. Like if you're in Los Angeles and you're part of any activist organization, hit us up today so that we can email that organizational leadership asking them to attend this thing. And again, I mean, like, we'll probably end up opening this to everybody, but we would like, it's vital that media and other organizers understand like the broad strokes of the Assange case, but specifically that there is no activism without the ability to communicate your cause to people who wouldn't ordinarily hear it.
When the empire has international jurisdiction over the press. Yeah. Oh, and real quick, we have super chats and super rays.
Oh.
I got super rays up here, and then there's a super chat somewhere, but I have to scroll up to it.
I got you.
Richard Salembo.
Hey, thank you, Richard.
Ray. Thank you for the super ray, Richard. It's always appreciated.
Over on the YouTube, we got Mandy Jones.
Mandy.
I just want to say Glory is the baddest motherfucking Jones out here. For real, you guys keep me sane or comfortably insane. Rather, we do live in a cartoon. I got me a gas mask for the weekend. This is fucking hilarious. Thank you very much. And again, Mandy, if it's in LA, just tell me where and I will be there. Well, Mandy, I can do better than that. I could show you the flyer.
I can pop that up on the screen.
Okay.
Go ahead. It's the outro, so.
It is the outro. But yeah, on Sunday at noon, we're going to meet at CBS Columbia Square on Sunset, and I always get this wrong.
Gower.
Yeah, Gower.
In Hollywood.
In Hollywood. We're gonna march a block up to Hollywood Boulevard. We're gonna go down to Cahinga and then land at CNN on Sunset and Cahinga. So there is some free parking. Will you please, Josh, put a Discord invite into the YouTube chat?
Yeah, parking parking anywhere in LA County in general is kind of cancer. So apologies for that. But there should be lots around and street parking as well.
Well, and here's what we can do too. We can make an event channel in the Slow News Day Discord so that anybody who's in or around LA can maybe, if possible, make arrangements to carpool or fucking, do some sort of ride share thing with that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just a thought.
Yeah. I don't know. Mandy, if you're talking about LA, then that's dope. Yeah, I don't even know what she's talking about LA, but that would be fucking dope. And yeah, never put anything past LAPD or LASD. So yikes. But we got you. Don't worry.
But yeah, thank you guys for the super Ray. Oh, and again with Mandy. Oh, I got it, but like ahead of that, well, Saturday's the press panel thing. Friday, I don't think we're doing anything. Well, like we'll probably all do a fucking live stream, but
Oh my God, Scoop Gang's first in-person live stream. Ah!
Yeah, I'm gonna hang out.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna hang out in the back with Johnny Buttons.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna need you to count down, do that countdown thing loud and proud.
Shit.
I'm so excited.
Do you have any idea how
so
incredibly high I have to get to be around that many people at once?
That's okay.
So
I'm gonna get to be Tech Ninja.
Oh,
Okay.
Is that your Twitter handle? Okay. Got it. All right. So yeah, like on the ground flyering shit like that promo. That's what Mandy is offering to help with Glory. So
Oh yeah.
or inquiring about, if not offering to help. I'm not volunteering you, Mandy. I'm volunteering you, Mandy. But I'm not, do that. Whatever you gonna do. Let's get the fuck out of here. I love you guys. Big thanks to Sleepy Josh on the ones and twos as always. Much love to Allie. And we're thinking about you. And we will see you in a couple of days. Dude, I'm so fucking stoked for that shit.
I know. Me too.
It's gonna be too. And yeah, my better than your co-host, Glory Jones. Fucking rocking it.
That's me.
Thanks to everybody in the chat. You guys make this shit work. We are gonna be taking the show full time soon. I should have basically already been doing that now. My boss got injured. We've had to push back a big job that we've been trying to wrap up. When we do go full time and before, we do need your support in order to make that work. Right now, the best way to do that is probably the Rockfin. There is a Slow News Day PayPal and Venmo. There's a Bitcoin wallet and an Ethereum one. And yeah, slownewsdayshow.com. Make it your first stop if you're trying to figure out what we're up to.
Scoopgang.social on Mastodon.
Scoopgang.social on Mastodon. God, there's a bunch of really cool shit in the works and coming up. You're going to want to be here for that. And we hope you are. We'll see you soon. Good luck to us all.
Love y'all.